Welcome to Slow and Steady, the podcast where you get to follow along as we build products in public. Each episode gives you an honest peek into our lives as we share our struggles, our wins, and everything in between. I'm Benedicte, and I'm feeling dehydrated.
And I'm Benedikt. Today is November 11th. This is episode number 232, and I am feeling busy today.
You were confused about it being November already, or what was that? What was that hesitation about November 11th?
I was like, did I? I don't know. I was confused about the notes, and today's November 11th. Yeah, apparently.
I mean, we're almost at the end of 2025.
Yes, it's not that long to the end of the year, for sure. Yeah. And I guess that spills over into me feeling busy. But you know what also doesn't help? Daylight savings time ending and it getting super dark super early around here already. I think sunset is like 4:40 or something like that. And I feel like I need to get out and do my daily walk, but I don't want to do it in the pitch black. So I one more task.
You have to do lunch. You have to do lunch walks then.
In theory, yes, but today I had a call during lunchtime, and then I had about an hour between the call ending and this call where I had to do my notes and also figured I would probably not make it in time for this call, so I didn't go.
No. So I actually started morning walks, as you have seen on the social media, where I could not spell for the life of me. And I even marked, I was so proud. Like I started the first day and I wrote like Monday, week 1, then it was Thursday.
It was Tuesday, wasn't it? I think you said
no,
Tuesday.
I think it was actually Thursday. But then I was
okay.
but then I was gonna write it was actually Thursday, and I wrote like it's actually Thursday or something. Turns out I had the flu, which explains a lot of my behavior, and also me going and laying on the couch before and after last episode recording. You know, these weird like slow burning ones where I think I'm fine, but then when you look at things, like look back at things, you're like, oh that, yeah, okay, that now it makes sense. Like I can usually recognize the day of the week. Like usually I can recognize, but it's been great. And I realized I just have to do it in the morning. So I walk my daughter to the bus, which is our family. What's it like? It's a like known life lie. We have a word for this in Norwegian, where like everybody in our family knows that she can get there herself, but we pretend I have to walk her to the bus station so it's that like I will start my day.
Right?
Yeah. But it's so that I get out of bed and I get my day started, and we're all in on this pretending. Because she can get home from like extracurricular activities. She takes the bus all over town. Like she doesn't need me to walk her to the bus station in the morning. But I do. And then I realize I'll just need to get that walk in straight away, because as soon as I sit down and I start getting sucked in to the coding or to the work, like it's really, really hard for me to stop when it's like when I don't have a like an agreement with somebody else. And I've been really enjoying just going for these walks on my own. So it's been almost a week, but I even did it on the weekends, which I'm this weekend, I'm already speaking like I'm been doing this for years, but highly recommend. We'll see how far.
Yeah, I can totally recommend this as well. I've been doing this since January, and it's been really nice. For the most part. Sometimes weather is shitty, and sometimes I have to pretend I'm just walking up and down my stairs in our house. But it still counts as like walking in my books.
But it's like this like thing I learn again and again, and I know I'm gonna do this for like 4 months, and then I'm gonna stop, and then I have to find something else, and like that's fine. I'm not going to be doing it for 12 months like you are. I think, at least I don't expect that I will do that. but just moving like 40 minutes walk every day, and it's been less than a week, I already feel so much better. Like my body just feels so much better. This thing that we've chosen to do as our life's work is not good for
not the healthiest profession
health.
out there.
Absolutely not. And I think like less and less healthy. Like when you were younger, it was fine.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's also not the most hazardous job you could do, right?
No,
I mean,
it's not like we die.
There's definitely more dangerous jobs and unhealthier jobs for sure. But I guess it takes at our age, it takes some effort to counteract it, right?
Yes.
But honestly,
yeah.
The nice thing about doing this is by now it feels like it's a routine for me. I mean, sort of. Like I don't have a fixed schedule that I do it at a certain time. I think that would probably help. But I get anxious if I haven't done my walking for the day at some point. So at this point, it's deeply ingrained in me. So that's actually, I think it's good, and it's also making it easier.
I even felt that today because I do morning dancing and sometimes I do morning sauna. So I was like, I'm not going to double up. So today was morning sauna. That's why I'm feeling dehydrated. And I ended up, long story short, I ended up having to take one of these electrical scooters down there. Should I walked back because I took the scooter back. And I've been feeling that today, that like I haven't done like my walk. So
yeah,
next time I'll have to walk home.
Yeah, for sure.
Anywho, over to work. Why are you so busy? Is it just because the days are feeling so short?
Yeah, I think that helps. Doesn't help. I mean, one other thing I wanted to mention before we transition over. Another thing that I've been doing for years by now is I do one Sudoku a day at least. And well, that's fun on one level. But the other thing I notice, it's a good measurement of my mental capacity. So I notice that something's up, like getting sick or I'm preoccupied with something when I suck at a daily Sudoku.
Okay, I like this. It's a good. This is fun. Like, should make like a little. Yeah, coming up with fun things to make as little Framer mini apps. Maybe I should make something like that. Like gauges your mental, kind of like store your how fast you usually are, and then be like, "What's up? Do you need a holiday? Do you need to sleep?"
Yeah. Like, at least if there's like I have an app. I use an app. I think it's called Sudoku.com or something like that. And they have like a daily thing, and it's a random one at random difficulty levels. So some are easier, some are more difficult. So it's not like you can totally go on like just the number of a single day.
Mm-hmm.
But if like I'm really struggling in terms of like, not that it's hard, but I'm making stupid mistakes. Like the stupid mistakes is the indicator. Like if I'm doing too many stupid mistakes, then something's up. Like if I take an hour to solve a hard one, that's still fine. But if I make a stupid mistake in the process where I'm like, oh, what? Like, why did you see this one? Then that's an indicator that I'm probably not at 100%.
Voice, so the scooter that I was using today, like sometimes at night, you have to like do this game where they check your reflexes. And I think it's to check if you're drunk or not. And I was like sucking at this game and I was not drunk this time. They let me ride, but it was like you had to click on voice appearing or like helmets, I think, appearing on the screen. And the thing was, I think I was like holding it with one hand and had a bag in the other, and they wanted me to do this, and I wasn't clicking any of them, but it let me on the bike anyway, or on the scooter anyway. But I was like, okay, I don't feel good, like failing the drunk test, voice drunk test.
That's actually, but I like it though. It's a good idea.
It is a clever day. Today I had to take a quiz about the laws of scooter riding because I hadn't been doing it for a while. So because I have my my electrical bike that was empty of battery. when I needed it. But
Yeah,
that's one of the other things that I can notice that we've had a lot to do in the family is when those things happen, where it's like the battery wasn't put back in the charger when it usually is. And when I tried to charge it, the charger was plugged out of the wall. And like these little things that when the family has had too much to do, like all of these like little things break. Or if you've been sick or like you're stressed.
A good measure of how stressed both me and my wife are at work or with anything in life is the state of the kitchen. It's like tidy and clean. Things are good, but the messier it is, the more likely there's something else going on that's just like messing with everyone's mind.
Because it's those like you have to have the margins to like do those things. Yeah. So they are good measurements. I'm just thinking having these like little AI cameras to be like state of your kitchen and like sending little like bleep bleep help signs.
At this point, I notice like I don't need AI for this. It's very obvious.
Oh, I don't think we need it. Like you would need it, but like this is like these are the scenarios I'm seeing when we start having, the robot vacuumers film your house, right? They could tell a lot about the mental state of the household.
Yeah.
And they could like alert Facebook so you can get like more stress-inducing ads that make you buy more because they know your kitchen hasn't been cleaned in a week. So you obviously are in an elevated stress state and you will make stupid choices.
Yeah. Maybe I should put a zone around the kitchen so the robot vacuum doesn't go there anymore. But then again, that's the point of the thing going there, right? It should,
yeah. But there was this guy I saw hearsay on the internet that he had blocked the robot vacuumer's IP from his like home network or something. And then it bricked itself and then it got fixed, but then it like bricked itself again when it couldn't like send all of this data home.
Yeah.
And he was like, why? Because like a little bit like checking for firmware or like maybe analyzing the, the map of the apartment or something. But he was saying like it was sending so much data that he was like, why would it ever need to send so much? And this, vacuum cleaner had a camera.
Yeah, it is a little concerning. I
just segued us. I was trying to segue us towards work, and we ended up in like AI eucalyptus. Not eucalyptus.
Eucalyptus.
And the state of our mental health. Okay, what have you been doing at work?
What have I been doing at work? So we launched a Posthog integration after, I think I mentioned last episode that it got merged and got merged on our side as well. So we took the opportunity to launch it. I haven't checked if people are actually already using it, but we got a bit of feedback of like people who got excited about it and was like, oh yeah, we love it and we're looking forward to it. So we did that. We also added a new feature to Userlist called segment templates. So it's actually pretty simple. When you create a new account, until recently, it would be empty with nothing in there. And that's still mostly true. Like there's still no user. There's still not any user data in there, obviously. But we went ahead and we now create a set of segments that we think might be useful for you. For example, we have a segment that lists all your customers, and we have a segment that lists all of your leads and stuff like that. Well knowing that the segment conditions, so in Userlist, segments work the way that you set up a name and then a set of conditions that match for a certain user or a company for people to enter that segment. But that has to match your data structure. And we don't necessarily know your data structure at this point yet. So we just made assumptions, and it was a bit of a, or it is a bit of an experiment to see if it's helpful or not helpful. Because the scenario, like every one of us was like seeing, was with those segments in place, people would get confused why they are not properly populating once they send their data over. And the word was out on this. Like, we decided to build this and have everyone who creates a new account be populated with a set of default segments, and then let's see if they cause confusion. We probably stop this experiment again. But if they help with people just understanding the system a little bit better or making use of the segments feature more, I think it would be a win. So let's see. That's one of the recent experiments we started doing.
I'm looking forward to hearing how that goes, because there is like a fine line.
Yeah. There's also, I feel like there's also something interesting in there, that once we have your user data, that we then figure out what segments might be interesting for your particular use case. But that doesn't solve the hurdle of like getting the data in there, which for a lot of people is a big hurdle that they have to take. And in that,
because you could have like on your dashboard, you could start analyzing the data and like give people suggestions.
Yeah,
we see you have a last logged in column or data point. I don't know. I don't remember what you call it. And then be like, oh, maybe you want to create a haven't logged in the last 14 days segment.
Something
when you
like
have that data.
A good idea.
Yeah. And you could like start super crude, where it's just like, if they have this exact match, then let's give them this suggestion. And then you can go a little bit smarter and try to be a little bit more clever about the data that they have.
Yeah. This is probably something, like, if this experiment works or like isn't a total disaster, I think this is something we will invest some more time and energy in. That reminds me, I'm not sure if I mentioned this in previous episodes, but a couple of weeks ago, we had someone do a live teardown of our website and the sign-up process, which was actually pretty interesting. So they did, I think it was LinkedIn Live or something like that, a live stream where they basically spent an hour dissecting our website and the onboarding. And that was one of the things that came up, because our onboarding process is actually pretty, I think it's 5 steps even, like where we ask you a lot of questions. And the dirty little secret about this is that we're not using any of that data at the moment. And the person reviewing, like going through the thing to do the live stream, they assumed that we would be using this to customize how we set up your account and stuff like that, but we don't. But we totally could. And there was this slight pull to like actually spend more time this and like incorporate all of this data that we potentially have and customize it and set you up in a specific way. But in the end, we decided for better done than perfect, and just like everyone gets the same set of same set of templates in their account for now. But this is definitely something we should invest more time in and improve upon, because there's some potential in there in giving you a nicer onboarding experience by having your account more tailored to what you're actually doing. So yeah,
I signed up for something that monitors like brand mention or like mentions of anything really. We use it in Outseta, and it's been working really well. I'm going to check what the name actually is. Octolens. And they did something like that, which didn't work at all for me, because I just wanted to test out the tool. And they were like, "What's your organization?" I was like, Queen Ray, and I gave them my Queen Ray, like domain, and it did come up with like great suggestions based on the data that is on that page. But like that wasn't what I wanted to monitor at all. So I would have liked them to then ask me, what do you want to monitor, instead of trying to be that clever. But I think for like 90% of the use cases, people are coming in trying to monitor like their competitor names and mark or terms from their industry and that kind of thing. So I felt like the onboarding was really good, even though like I even understood because it said that it would like help you make suggestions, but you weren't allowed to not fill it in. So I just had to put something. So I knew it was going to be wrong. But then it like came up with queries of things you could monitor based on your website. And then you could say like, oh, I want to keep these 5 things as is, or like create your own monitoring terms. But it's been working really well for Outseta. Actually, we have a Slack channel. You pipe it into a Slack channel, and you can then see whenever Outseta is being mentioned in Reddit or Twitter. And it's, at least I try to keep an eye on it. So if it is something that I can reply to, like it's an easy thing to do. So inside of Slack, there's like a C post, and you just get taken to the post, and you can start answering. And it's also good, like we can chime in to conversations about billing, with even if we aren't mentioned. Yeah. So it's not a cheap tool, but it's been very
I was about to ask,
what doing really good.
What plan are you on? Are you just on the starter plan? Because even the starter plan,
I don't know. So yeah, Jeff set this up for Outseta, so I don't know exactly what we're on with Outseta. I just see the results coming into Slack.
They also monitor podcasts. That's interesting.
Yeah, and they monitor Reddit, which has become really important for AI search or agent search. So you want to get your name in there. So I don't know if they like find everything, but it's
they're probably they at least find more than you find by yourself, right?
Yes. And also I find especially the Reddit posts, because I've had a hard time, like I can go in and search for Outseta, but like, that's maybe not what we need. Because you can even give it, that's why I wanted to test it for myself, because I didn't set it up for Outseta. So I just signed up for the free thing to test a little bit. You can even give it context. So you could say like, okay, we want to monitor like email service or email. Like let's say you put in the term email, you would get so much stuff, right? Because email is a very general term. But then you can give it context, and you can say like, we're interested in email with regards to developer tools, or businesses needing marketing emails, or you would probably choose a better term though. But you could even you can give whatever term you have some context as well, and it will filter out the things that aren't relevant, that has the relevant context, even if it's the relevant keyword. So I was impressed.
That sounds pretty cool. I'll definitely take another look at this.
Yeah, but it was a free trial, so I was thinking more for the sign up. Like you can get some ideas about how to do the onboarding. Yeah,
like this might be a useful example in multiple ways, right?
Yes. So, yeah. Do you have anything more on your the work you've been doing?
Yeah, more on the work I've been doing. Yeah, so we've been continuing with the video challenge, and I think you joined in as well, right? Like you recorded a couple of videos last week, which I just haven't seen yet. Did you post them somewhere? I must have overlooked them.
I posted, it was Framer and Outseta on Twitter, but they're like the most boring video. I even asked if they count, because when I made them, I didn't think that they were like, oh, this is for the challenge. I was just making Framer and Outseta demos, and I just like, screen recorded, just did a little quick screen recording with no voiceover or anything, just showcasing the functionality. And you were like, yes, it counts. So I'm at 3.
Okay, cool. I'm currently at 4. I recorded another video yesterday.
Damn it!
So, the longest video I've done so far on array, the array filtering stuff. The problem is that it was a little bit too long and I didn't have that much time yesterday. So it ended up being 2 recordings that I then stitched together. And I'm not super, super happy with the result, but I think it's BDTP, better than imperfect, good enough. So I still published it. But yeah, initially I assumed that this all would take a lot of time. And then for the first couple of videos, it was kind of okay. Wasn't too bad. But I think it still takes more time than I think I overcorrected my assumptions. It's not as easy as I assumed after the first couple of videos, because like this one, yeah, because it was a little bit of a more complicated topic and a longer video, and I managed, like, we're using Screen Studio for this, which is great piece of software for quick videos, but for longer ones, apparently it's not good. Because I had to learn the hard way that you cannot merge 2 recordings into one. Just doesn't do it. And you cannot continue. Like, when you record, you can pause it and then continue, and then you can cut that one recording. But if you, for whatever reason, stop the recording mode, there's no way to go back. You cannot then like continue and like extend the existing project.
Okay.
Which is a bit of a problem. So what I had to do was like edit both projects individually, and then I exported them and then imported them into another video editing tool, stitched them together, and exported that one, and then uploaded it to Vimeo.
You should test the script.
Maybe, yeah. I think we have or had a license for this.
Super expensive, but just so nice.
Okay. I might take another look. For now, things are working okay-ish, and I don't want to spend a huge amount of time. But yeah. But what I noticed is that it's hard. And the hardest thing for me is making sure I don't do weird stuff while I am recording. I noticed, I don't know why, when I'm in there recording and talking over and explaining what I do, I start grabbing my t-shirt collar with my hand and fiddling around with it, and it just looks super stupid on video.
But you could, you could fade yourself out and just have the screen.
That's what I end up doing. But I'm like, why do I record myself in the first place if I'm done like doing weird stuff with my t-shirt? But I caught myself multiple times doing this, even though I'm conscious about it at this point. So that's the part that annoys me the most. And I feel like I'm not doing this on the podcast, or maybe I'm just not paying close enough attention.
See, now you're doing this.
I mean, now it was itchy, so I had to do this. But like, what's the reason for like this other than
I've never seen you take your shirt collar. Like, I've never seen that. No.
And I'm
because you're anxious.
Maybe it's because I'm anxious. But I think when we were recording, I see myself on the screen, and when I'm recording the video and explaining stuff, I'm usually driving, right? Like, I'm doing stuff on the screen. And I think that's when I
see, now you did it. Now you were touching your collar.
I'm doing this. I'm doing it on purpose now. But this is this is what I end up doing. Like, my right hand is mousing around and I'm explaining, and my left hand, I guess I have to sit on my left hand during the recording or something like that.
Yeah, I gotta sit on it.
Or I need something to fidget around with it while I record. Anyways, small side note. Was an interesting discovery, I guess.
But I find it so easy to, like, the videos that I made now, like, it's so like, it's a 3-second video of the screen doing something, but that kind of showcases, which is easy without setup, like these examples where it's like, oh, you log in and suddenly something new appears that wasn't there when you weren't logged in, or that kind of stuff. And it's so easy when you just do like a silent, very short recording like that. And that is super quick. But then going from that to just like even like mediocre screencasting where you're talking and doing things on the screen at the same time, the time it takes and like how much you can like mess up. And often I find like if I'm trying to make, because I need to make these like more setup videos where it's like, and then, this is a fresh Framer project, and then you have to add the sign up embed and the login embed, and I click on something wrong, or it's like something always goes wrong, and then you kind of have to start from the beginning again. Otherwise, you're not getting, that piece, or you have to do like very like jump cutty stuff that you could do for shorts. But even then, you have to go back to like a clean slate, because if you're going to show the first steps of the onboarding, you have to be onboarding.
This
or
was
at least
one of
we
the
don't have
challenges.
like a fake. We don't have a fake. Like I should ask the developers to put on like question mark onboarding on any account,
Right.
just to show how
This
it
was
looks
one
if
of the
you're
things
onboarding.
when I realized that I had to restart the recording for the second part of the video, because I was doing a longer one. I think it took me like 15 minutes to just set up my screen of the application the same way as it looked like when the other video ended, so there wouldn't be as obvious of a cut. And this took forever. And in the end, in the final video, if you look closely, you can see that because it has embedded subtitles, that at some point the subtitles change because there's the cut. And while I made an effort to continue the sentence exactly the same way, obviously I failed, and whatever. Better than imperfect.
The life of a techfluencer, Benedict.
Yeah. I also made another observation I made, and you probably noticed, it's a lot harder to do shorter videos than long ones. The last video on area filtering is like almost 5 minutes. But I don't want to post 5-minute videos to socials. For one reason is I think some platforms just don't allow you to do 5-minute videos at all. And the other is, who has a 5-minute attention span on social media? Basically no one. But for this one in particular, I'm not exactly sure how I can condense the same amount of information into a minute max. So that's a challenge.
Yeah, and I see, because I've been looking at shorts that are more technical, because I want to try and make something like that, and it's very jump cutty, and I'm 100% certain they don't record voice and screen at the same time. So a good old screencast, you are talking and doing, and why you want to do that at the same time is that it's super hard to have a longer screencasting and get what you're saying to match what you're doing, and you're actually typing out code, and you want to show like your thinking and talk about your thinking. But for these things, I think it's better to kind of have a shot of what you've done and then record and even make them images or just like videos that can like loop, and then speak on top, and then you can do these like very like jump cutty things where your sentence starts almost before the last one ends. And then you put the kind of the screen on top to match what you're saying. Or just what I've seen a lot is that they just show the end result. It's like, it would be like, add the sign up embed, and all you and then you just show like where, like that one thing you have to do, and not like the mouse moving up to add sign up embed and close out the plugin, and then
I guess
it's
there's
a lot more snappy, but those take a long time.
Yeah, that's the irony of this, right? Like a 5-minute educational video of like where I actually explain how to do something is at this point probably easier for me to do than a 30-second super short on-point video about like promoting a feature or something like that. So yeah, that's an interesting learning.
But what I've seen, at least with Descript now, I haven't tested this feature. It's that you can do a screencast, and if you do any mistakes or anything, you just keep on going, and then it has And I like what Descript calls it. They don't call it the AI; they call it the underlord. I think they call it the underlord and not the overlord, or is it the overlord? Some type of lord, anyway. And then you ask it to cut out or make it a good take, so it cuts out every time you've started over, and kind of blends that for you. And I think that will take out a lot of the time. But it's a new way of recording, because before you would make sure to maybe stop and then start again the video, well, not in ScreenFlow, but before you would actually take a new take, or you would do like a loud clap or something, so you could see the spike in the audio to see that, oh, I'm this is where my new scene start. But it seems now with this feature in Descript, like they recommend you just keep on talking. And then if you have a mistake, you just go back 2 sentences and then you talk again, and it will do the first pass editing for you, and like make sure that you don't say the same thing 3 times, even if you said it 3 times. And then there's and then you can remove all of the silence, so you can get that like YouTube-y, like where you never take a breath. So you can get more of that style. So I feel like, I mean, we've been using it for a couple of years, and I haven't been in it for a while. But the emails I get from them, I'm like, okay, they understand where people like us who don't want to make we're not making a video. It's not our art. We are, we just want it to be good enough, and we want it to be fast. But we are in charge of the content because this is our expertise, right? So whatever you say it, and by that it's good, or at least correct content, and then they can do all of the boring stuff with the with removing the breathing and the stops and the fumbling and all of that. But it doesn't help with having to clear the screen again when you have to say it 3 times over, and suddenly your screen was already filled, and then you have to like go back and remove everything. Yeah.
So again, like it's a challenge. Like it's actually work. No surprise there, I guess.
It's actually work.
Yeah. So enough about me. What have you been doing in the past couple of weeks?
What have I been doing? So I've been heads down doing Framer and Outseta, but I didn't get as much progress as I wanted on the plugin, because I, as we talked about, had a little flu week there, or like almost a week and a half, I guess. But what is nice is that I kind of recognized it, so I shifted my work more to making these demos, because it feels less of and less of a, not a challenge, but like it's not coding where like I need to hold a lot of information in my head, and my brain needs to function on like its full capacity. So I got a lot of demos done, and luckily, because after they were done, and I don't know if they saw these videos and therefore like chose us. Maybe I should like ask them about that. But like right after I made these demos, I had like 2 people ask for the exact functionality I made in the demos.
That's nice.
So that was nice. So I feel like, it was absolutely not time wasted to make these demos, and Framer has made it really, there are some things that like Framer just do so nicely. And one of them is they call it like remixable. So you can share a link to your project, and then anyone who uses that link automatically comes to a page where they can duplicate it into their own workspace, and then start changing things and poking around, and they get like an exact replica of the project that you've made, which, and I don't think they count, or because then if you don't publish them on any real URL, like real domain, you can have as many as those as you want for free in your Framer workspace. So that makes exploration really, really easy. And I think that's one of the things that they've done very well. And then I've also been hanging out a little bit on Framer watering holes, trying to figure out where the more advanced Framer people are, and just trying to answer some questions that aren't all Outseta related, just to get a feel for how they think and who they are. And because it's interesting because they're doing a lot of, I'm seeing more and more people playing around with React or Framer code components and code overrides, which is React code. But they're coming from the design space. And I think if we're going to be helping them, I can't just talk to them as React developers.
Right.
So I'm trying to like pick up on the way they like to do things and the way they like to speak and try to showcase myself as somebody who kind of knows what they're doing, not in design, but in functionality.
Yeah.
But it's pretty cool. And Framer now has an AI obviously agent inside of Framer that you can ask to create code components for you and code overrides, but also even design. So it's pretty nice. You could go like for demos. I got in there and I was like, hey, I would love, or was that in another AI? Doesn't matter. But I was like, give me 6 startups and make a CMS collection and create entries for me. And it like came up with these like ridiculous startups. One was Peloton for sleep. And I would so nail that. Like if anybody made Peloton for sleep, I would be on the top of that leaderboard. I would just like, I would be the queen of Peloton for sleep. But anyway, so that was fun. And I think like making like things like that when making demos, like for videos and stuff, having to do all that prep work of like coming up with blog posts or coming up with, and some visuals and some things like that. It was really fun to just have it be like, oh, I need, 6 startups in a list. And then it came up with like generic design. But since I'm not going to be competing on the sign, like that was totally fine. And then I could add the Outseta stuff. So that was kind of fun.
That sounds like a time saver indeed. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think it's a time saver. So I've seen that Webflow. So the biggest, the most used technologies with Outseta is Webflow and Framer. And Webflow has gone, because they're older, so I don't think it's that easy for them to like put this in like into the Webflow builder to retrofit it in, while Framer's kind of had AI a little bit like in there from the beginning. It's just gotten a lot better the last couple of months. But Webflow has gotten really into the MCP game. So I see a lot of the freelancer and agencies are using the MCP server to kind of scaffold out the content structure of the site. And it, having to go into Webflow CMS or Framer CMS and be like, add field text, add field, like how many times have you added title and subtitle and hero image? And it's just a pain, right? And with Framer, you now do it through their like little agent inside of Framer. But then for Webflow, I've seen the more like power users are using the Webflow MCP server and just through Claude or whatever and asking it to scaffold things out. So there are some really, nice use cases for our AI overlords, underlords, or whatever we
right. Yeah.
And especially for agencies that do the work again and again and again, I think it's a time saver. And another thing that Framer has, which is I think maybe Webflow does as well as too, but I don't know. But you can like copy paste anything. Like you can go into I went into a different Framer project and I copy pasted something and it like pulled in all of the CMS items. Like it just like created, because I was copying a CMS item component and it's just like, oh, so you're using this component that's connected to this CMS collection. Boom, the whole CMS collection was in my other project. I was like, oh my God, these are the
both
things.
Cool and also easy to mess stuff up, right?
Oh, so easy to mess stuff up. Like I see some Framer projects, I'm helping people on video calls and stuff. Like there are some, and I've seen some remixes in the Framer communities being like, why doesn't it work? And you look at their remix and you're like, I'm not touching this. There's way too many components in here. But so you gotta be a little vigilant. But it's very nice when you're creating multiple demos and you can just be like, copy paste, copy paste, copy paste. But I don't think it's anything we're going to be using, you or I are going to be using to make websites. But
I guess we're not necessarily the target audience.
not necessarily the target audience, but I am like there is like a super interesting shift where both Framer and Webflow have managed to be able, like, they're no code tools, but they've, through their code components, they can also they can also like benefit. No, but they can also benefit from AI creating very custom things. So instead of being like it all has to be drag and drop and visual kind of building, they have kind of that escape hatch where like, well, you can create whatever you want with a code component, and you can vibe code it, or you can get a developer to do it, or you can learn to do it. And I feel like that makes the like the versatility, and also they can like capitalize was the word. They can like capitalize on the AI wave without becoming like AI slop or like just AI. It's a stable, like this Framer and Webflow. The things you design on their canvases are super stable, and then you can like sprinkle in a little bit of AI instead of to create some of the components, instead of having, you know, a lovable where nothing is stable, and you know, people are vibe coding and they were just going to add a feature and suddenly their database is gone, or so I kind of like this approach, and I think people are using it seem to like this approach a lot because they can like vibe code with a little bit of guardrails.
That makes sense. Yeah.
So I'm learning more about the people, getting, you know, the empathy and the understanding.
Very good.
Hopefully I can make better components for them to copy paste. Yes, and my last thing is, it's soon Christmas, and we gotta make it snow on everybody's websites.
Ooh.
And last year I took my Gatsby Let It Snow plugin and I made it into a script tag version, so you can just pop it into the head of any website builder and it will snow on your website from November 15th if you don't change any of the defaults. And I was like, okay, I should just make socials on this every year. And I'm pretty sure it will work with Framer. So I guess that's going to be one of my videos. Exactly. Yes. Let it snow.
Very cool. Well, I guess with that, let us know, because it's almost November 15th. And talk to you in 2 weeks.
Absolutely. See you around the interwebs.
See you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.